I've been in Visagio from internship to partnership. I'm one of the partners of the company today, and I have joined roughly 10 years ago. We are a worldwide company of over close to 1,000 employees at the moment, and I've started my career in the company in the offices in Brazil, where we are originally from. Around 3.5 years in, I've got a transfer into our Australian operations, which I've resided until today. We like to introduce ourselves as a business transformation company. What that means in essence is we partner up with our clients. We have our teams essentially camp at their company, live their routines, understand their practices. And what we really do as a service in here is we take part in fulfilling their strategy. One of the curious things about our company is that we are very intentional in having hiring to happen on an internship level. So to us, connection to the university and to the student level is imperative. With that in mind, we've always had a very careful selection for how we bring our candidates in, because I guess fairly, when you are assessing someone in a student level, they don't have a track record on the job market or anything like that. We previously were using a software. They would cover most of our steps, but not all of them. One of the struggles we've had with the tool we used, it would cover one part of our process really well, but it wasn't comprehensive enough that we could have the entire life cycle of a candidate in one place. So when we were looking for what would be the next tool or the next investment for our recruitment, we ended up learning about Zoho. With Zoho, I've started as I think 99% of the cases. I went into some self-conducted procurement, into like Google reviews, and trying to ask even some of our clients who are part of big companies and big corporations, hey, what are you using? Can you tell me a little bit more about some of the highlights of the tools you have? Tell me about your process so I can also understand if it matches our process. So I've learned Zoho from a combination of all of these different contexts. And in the end, I booked demo sessions with a couple of different tools. And I liked what I saw in most of them, but I think it's fair to say that Zoho was quite strong on that particular aspect of covering all our steps. I was a little bit concerned about using engines for interviews that were unfamiliar to our company members. But upon hearing that, for example, Zoho offers Google Meets integration, which is what we used previously, I think I could use that to my advantage to make sure the transition is super smooth. Zoho offers so much when it comes to transparency. But at the same time that it does offer that transparency, the user permissions control is very good. So a very particular part of our process in Visagio is we have around 9 steps from application to hiring. Throughout those 9 steps, different teams and different people come along the process. So the visibility that they need to have needs to be quite controlled. So what we've done is we make sure that they can always see what comes past up to the point that they have to engage. And I think Zoho was quite unique in providing that feature. At the very start, when you apply to Visagio, the first thing you have to go through is an online test. We use a separate platform to run and execute these online tests. The fortunate part is that Zoho integrates quite natively with these tools. After they are successful on the test, the next step that they go through is an internal exercise conducted by us, where we do resume reviews and we do a more careful check of their test outcomes. The team combines that with a review assessment and then uses Zoho's note-taking and action assignment features. From the moment they are successful in this review, then if they are applying for internship, there's an individual step called an assessment center where we put them into teams, and then they visit Visagio and they do a simulation of a consulting project that they have to deliver on the day and so on. We also capture a lot of metadata around that step using Zoho at the moment. And then in the moment that they are successful at that stage, we then start booking the interviews. When they are then successful in the interviews, they are moved into something we call the talent bank. From the talent bank, we then move them to another pool, which is called the offer bank. And then from that, we have the last stage, which is hired, right? So that's a little bit of our pipeline in a nutshell. I think once we were able to replicate every single part of our recruitment into one system, it became really easy for handshakes to happen throughout the process, right? It was a little bit difficult to track in the past when someone was handing an activity to you because they finished their part, because either one of two behaviors would happen. One is that they would wait to accumulate a little bit and then let you know. And then second was when that task finally arrived, let's say at your inbox, you would still have to now program yourself for when you get to do it. So I think with Zoho, we made it in such a way that if you are going to program yourself to look at your queue once a week, then that's fine because the system is live and the information is current 24/7. So you can just go in there, refresh your tab and check your queue. You don't have to depend on the email to have arrived by then. Our people team is currently quite connected to our recruitment team to even understand whether there's a use case to bring another Zoho tool to continue this integration process. Full integration is always going to be the goal, right? This is good because it really helps us anticipate how it's going to scale, and it helps us feel this stability towards maintaining that investment. Because we did come across other tools where the pricing model was based in candidates or applications in some way. And I guess the problem with that is it almost plays against marketing efforts if you think about it, right? Because you have to always take that cost into consideration. So I do really feel that when partnering with a company with the ambitions that we have to grow and become more aware as a brand, I think that the Zoho model is quite compatible with that, so I'm quite happy.